y'all. Welcome to another episode of Just Two Girls Who Work Together and That Guy. What's up, y'all? This episode is probably going to be one of my favorites because we're talking about This Is the Remix. Hey!
This is the remix.
Right.
Remix.
Take that. So, on this episode, we're going to be talking about 5 of our favorite remixes. So each person will have their 5. They'll talk about the original a little bit, who's featured on the remix, and just give you a little bit of fun facts about them. So we're going to get into it. And the order we're going to start in is with That Guy, Rashad. So you're up first.
That's me. All right. So, okay. So this 5 favorite remixes isn't my comprehensive top 5, but it's just 5 of my favorite remixes. I have to get that clear.
Yes.
To get it.
Yeah.
But the first one I'm gonna name is Ain't It Funny, the Murder remix by J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez. The original Ain't It Funny is like a ballad, and the remix is more up tempo, but it has nothing to do with the original one. In actuality, I don't know even why they call it the Ain't It Funny remix, because the subjects aren't the concepts of the songs aren't even the same, but I go with it anyways. And the remix features Ja Rule and Cadillac Todd, I think that's how you pronounce his name. But it's written by writers like Corey Rooney, Jeffrey Atkins, Ashanti, Ja Rule, Irv Gotti. And then the production is a sample of Craig Mack's Flavor in Your Ear. So they are accredited as well. And it's one of my favorite remixes. I don't know. I mean, the way it starts off, it must be there. So I love the way it intros with Ja Rule's raspiness or whatever coming right in on the track. Kind of takes you by surprise. He has a great verse or two, and then J-Lo comes in. The verses and everything, the hook is all very smooth. And then the other guy that's featured, he has a good verse as well. And I love the video. The video is also one of my favorite videos just from this. I don't know if you guys remember the video, but
yeah, that was the first thing that popped in my mind when you brought it up, the video. Yeah, her walking into the
her walking, and the whole thing is from her point of view. So I think that's really cool. And no, it's just a cool song. It's a nostalgic early thousands. J-Lo had a run where she had a lot of good remixes, or that came when she went more, because this is from her going more hip hop leaning or whatever, and I'm Real had came out before that, and it kind of crossed her over to R&B, and then they were looking for something else to kind of keep that momentum going, so they came up with this. And I recommend anybody to check out her remix album, because she actually has a lot of good remixes from that period. Yeah.
Awesome. And speaking of J-Lo, we will be doing a deep dive on your girl coming to you on next Monday, so super excited about that. We'll be talking about the career of the one, the only J-Lo. So yeah, that's one of my favorites too. Definitely reminds me of MTV. Very nostalgic. Ja Rule was on fire during that time.
Oh, everybody's track.
Everybody's track. Everybody. Murder Inc. was on fire at that time, and so it was huge to have him on there. They just had really great chemistry on that song and the songs that they've done. And so yeah, that's one of my faves too.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, my turn. Okay, so
first. I had one more to add. I thought you was gonna add something to mine. I'm sorry.
All right.
Continue.
I was just gonna say J-Lo and Ja Rule. I just love their pairing of them. Period. And actually, I wish they would actually do a few more collaborations. I feel like they're just really good matches for each other. And some type of maybe collab EP or something, I think would be nice. Sort of with her and Pitbull, how they kind of have their thing. I feel like something like her and Ja Rule, that would be kind of cool. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, I feel like they complement each other.
Yeah.
But back to my first remix. The first one that came to mind was, of course, Destiny's Child, No. And it came to mind because I feel like that remix is when I fell in love with them. That was when I feel like they blew up. Wyclef was on there, and the original is great. It's a nice little ballad, real slow, sexy, but the up-tempo version just takes it to another level. and I feel like it was more pop, and it just catapulted them to the next level. Writings on the Wall. I mean, that wasn't Writings on the Wall. That was before Writings on the Wall. But yeah, that was their single for me, where I learned who they were, fell in love, and the rest is history.
That is definitely so. I'm one of those ones. And No is definitely on part 2 is on my list, but I'm one of the people that like was in love with the first version as well. I love that R&B groove, that jam, and then they turned it around and like it was a completely different song. You almost like it doesn't even feel like it's a remix. It just feels like a completely different song. It was done so well, and I love the background story of it. Of like that's really what birthed them into doing that like rapping, singing type of thing. She tells the story about how she was upset with Wyclef and just went in the studio and just started like rapping, singing, or saying the words rather quickly, and that birthed their sound. Like that's just like a great story to have. Super.
I still forgot it was original.
Right, I love No Part 2. That's what put me on notice to Destiny's Child. I mean, Say My Name is when I became more of a fan, but like that's what kind of made me like look at them like, oh, that's a cool song, and I remember every time I think about that song, I think about that Smart Guy episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite Smart Guy episodes or whatever, when they were featured on there with that song. And I agree, that's the song that I feel like catapulted them. Like that's what really like started them. Like they came out with No Part 1 and stuff, and they had their other songs, but that's the one that made everybody kind of pay attention. And it's a good groove. It's hype. You can play it at a party, at a club, whatever. So yeah.
It absolutely, like, because I think when I think back to the very first album, and you had the Get on the Bus and the Do You Ever Wonder, that those two songs, like they were good songs, but I felt like it was like nothing separated them from other girl groups at that time. Like the sound wasn't any different. Of course, they had like the heavy beat because they, JD was on the track, and then they did the No Limit remix. But then when they got to No, like them doing the rapping, singing was like new. It was different. It kind of set them apart from everybody. So I think that's what kind of really separated them. And then of course, like we said, Wyclef was, fresh off the Fugees run, and he was hot at the time as a producer, and so it just made sense for them to work together. So thank you, Keisha. Thank you, Rashad.
Thank you.
And so I'll get to my first one. My first one is actually Make It Last Forever, but Thank God I Found You by Mariah Carey. The original version features Mariah, 98 Degrees, and Joe. Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis helped pen this with Mariah. They also produced it. And so I love the remix. First of all, I love the original version, Keith Sweat's version, Make It Last Forever. But they picked that, and then it's kind of like it has the same melody, the same flow in the song. They go back and forth with each other. It's actually only Mariah and Joe on that version. And then they feature Nas as well. He does the rap on there. That's probably like one of my go-to jams. Like, you better believe if I'm making a playlist for a party, that is gonna be on there. That is my jam. It's a complete bop. I think for Mariah, she was like, during that time period, remixes were like her thing. And so this was just one of those remixes that just hit for her. It's just a bop all the way around for me. So that's my first one.
Nice.
I'm not as familiar with that song, so I can't really speak to it.
What?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a good song. I never knew the original had 98 Degrees on it. I learned something new today.
Yeah, it used to come on because they were like performing. I think this was like a military performance in the video. They were like performing for the troops in the video, and then to Make It Last Forever remix, it was like a club scene type of thing. She was performing. They were performing on stage. Nas was in the video. Yeah, it was straight up groove. That whole song.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna check that one out.
What? How y'all don't know that? What?
I mean, it's a good song, but I didn't know. To be honest, I didn't know it was a remix. I thought that was the original.
People. All right, moving on. Number 2.
Sorry, I was looking for the info on my second one, but my second one's gonna be Destiny's Child, Say My Name remix. Love it. Do I love it more than the original? No, I love them equally, honestly. Let me Say My Name, smash hit, right? By produced by Dark Child, written by the members of Destiny's Child and LaShawn Daniels and Dark Child and that whole camp. And right. And it's lovely, but like the remix, the Timbaland remix, let me say that because there's plenty of remixes of that song, but particularly the Timbaland remix is really, really cool to me. It slows it down a bit, gives it even though the original Say My Name is R&B, but this one just has more of a R&B groove to it. I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but I don't know. I just like it. It's a little bit slowed down. It's the lyrics are different. It's not just a different beat, but the melodies are different and some of the lyrics are different. And I just think it's really cool. And I was elated when Beyonce did the Coachella performance and they performed this version of it. I was like shocked because I'd never heard it live, and I was like, whoa, like they brought that out the bag, because that's not something many people talk. Like many people don't talk about that remix often or whatever. So I thought it was cool to see it live and with the live arrangement and everything. So I just love that song.
You better say my name.
Yep.
That's my favorite part.
Right.
That really is a groove, and I agree with you. Like it made it very R&B-esque, if you want to say that. I love to add that esque on there, but it absolutely like slowed it down, gave it a different groove. Because I think the original was, I hate to use like pop, but it was like, you know, more pop friendly, more bounce in it. It was that signature Rodney Jerkins Dark Child sound that he had come to, you know, like known for. But like that Timbaland really slowed it down, brought it back. And so yeah, I like that. I like that remix. That's up there for me.
I don't remember it, but I'm definitely gonna go listen to it because I feel like I should know that. I feel like I'm slipping.
Yeah. It's a great remix. Like it's totally one of those that like it's a completely different sound from the original song. And like I said, they switch up the melodies and it's different lyrics, but it's still the same concept, which I thought was really nice. Yeah.
Cool.
Next.
Okay. My next one. I'm going like in chronological order, kind of. I'm doing all my 90s and stuff first. So my next one is Drew Hill, the So Def remix of In My Bed. That was a whole bop. What'd you say?
For real?
Yes, for real.
Yeah.
And this is another one where like the original is a nice R&B ballad, and then somebody comes in and just flips it and makes it a banger. Like
it's
the tempo of the beat is totally different.
It's such a party anthem.
It is.
It really is, yeah.
And I like the juxtaposition because like it's talking about, you know, finding out somebody is having an affair, somebody's cheating on you, and then like, but you're dancing and having a good time to the song, and it's such a melancholy experience. It's interesting.
That's what I love about the remix, because I had that one on my list as well, and that's what I love about it is the subject is heavy, but it's like it's so dancey at the same time, and
right,
groovy and party and yeah.
People don't give like. Cisco is still giving you vocals.
Yeah, he's still giving you vocals.
He is yelling. He is giving you every.
Yeah, he still feels it.
Yeah,
and they in the background still sounding like deacons. You know, like yelling and stuff.
What do you want?
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's the devotion.
Right.
Woody is giving you the best he got. Do you hear
me?
But absolutely, and then people like. JD, we know like JD's not your best rapper. However, I felt like, because Brat to me is like up there when I think about female rappers. And so she was holding her own, and JD was holding his own too, like on their rap parts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even though I feel like they weren't talking nothing about the song, I tell you that.
I'm about to say, they probably both wrote it together, like wrote each other's things
right.
together.
But I was like, okay, but see, the song is so good that you don't even pay attention to the fact that like they ain't talking nothing about the subject matter.
Right.
Not at all.
Like you don't even care. You like it's still about. It's
right.
And like I love the original. It's one of my favorite Drew Hill songs. So yeah, that's something to like the remix to switch it up from the ballad to make it up tempo. Yeah.
It's about for sure. So coming on around the mountain, Keisha's going in order of like time period. I think Rashad and I have agreed to just name, just go off on me. Me would be next. For me, next would be Throw Some D's by Rich Boy, produced by Polo the Don. So first of all, the original was a bop. It was a smash. Them sampling Switches. I Call Your Name.
I love that song.
I know. Yes. The original I Call Your Name is. We can go somewhere else with that.
Right.
But yeah, them sampling I Call Your Name by Switch, and then coming in and making it newer, just make that song like automatic, like people, it was recognizable, people caught on to it. But then to come back around with a remix and you have Little John producing that one, he has Andre 3000 on there, which we hadn't heard Andre in quite some time by 2006. Like you heard him here and there, but like to get him on a record was like a huge thing. And you know, when he came on there, people would be listening to what he was gonna say because he was just that good. You were, wanting him to be on a remix. You also had Jim Jones, you had Nelly, Murphy Lee on there, and you also had The Game as well. For me, Andre was the standout on that remix just because we, wanted to hear him, and of course I love Jim Jones's verse. They were all pretty hot at that time, but yeah, this goes on there. If it comes on in the party, I'm gonna be, turn when it comes on. But yeah, is the beat still the same on the remix, or is it?
Yeah. Oh, okay, because I was trying to remember. I'm like, wait.
Me too. I'm not remembering it.
Because when you named all those people, I'm like, that sounds familiar, but I'm not like placing it or whatever. But I mean, Andre 3000, I agree with he's like a unicorn sighting. So like at that time, like anytime he appeared on the verse, you really like, ooh, like let me see, like what But that sounds very familiar. I'm just not placing it for some reason. But I think I remember that remix. But that's a lot of good people on there, and I love when Nelly's on a remix too on somebody's song. So yeah.
Me too.
And what's interesting though, you couldn't tell. I didn't even realize at the beginning, like when I first heard the remix, I was like, "Is that Nelly?" I thought it was Polo because I couldn't tell. And then Murphy Lee came in and did his part, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's where he is." It was the placing of it is very weird because you almost can't tell it's Nelly because he don't really sound like himself on there. So, but yeah, that's one of my go-to party anthems for sure. All right.
Well, my third one is going to be a remix of Janet Jackson's "If," but it's by Katra. Is it Katranada or Katranada?
I say Katranada, but I ain't never heard nobody say it, so don't listen to me.
Well, Katranada made a remix of Janet Jackson's "If," and he's a DJ / producer. And the original is produced and written with Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, and Janet Jackson. Amazing song. Already an interesting left of center song when it came out at that time, where it's very rock influenced, R&B as well, pop, industrial. Like it's got a lot of things mixed in there. And this guy did a remix, like I think it came out maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, I think, but it got real popular like among like dancers and stuff like that. And it's just a really cool like dance mix on it, like kind of like something you might hear like in the international clubs or something. But it's really, really cool the way he splits up all the parts and what he does to the vocals, and just it's a total different beat and everything, and the arrangement of the song is totally different. So it's really cool the way he really flipped it in a very brand new way. That's really cool. And she even adopted it like a couple of years ago on her tour or whatever, started performing with that version mixed in there and everything. So yeah.
They are notorious for doing that. They didn't really remix it, but they redid or basically did their own version of Tidra Moses's "Just Want to Be Your Girl," which she had that song out in the early 2000s, and then they redid it as well. So like they do a pretty good job when they take songs and kind of make them their own. I like that DJ.
Yeah, I need to listen to that because one of my favorite Craig David songs was a song on Katranada's album, so I need to listen to that one because I love Katranada.
And I love Craig David. So hey, Rashad.
I'm not a Craig David fan. But Yeah, so many people love him, and like, yeah, it's nostalgic for that time or whatever,
Mhm.
like, cause he was popping at that one time, but like,
Yeah.
I
It
don't
was
care.
one of those I didn't seek. Spotify snuck that in, and I was
Yeah.
like, Craig Davis still around?
Right.
What?
Y'all are hilarious. Y'all don't do him.
I mean, he's cool. He's talented. But on to the next one.
On to the next.
Right. On to the next.
I almost forgot Brandy's "I Want to Be Down" remix with all the female rappers. You got MC Light. You got MC Light. You got Queen Latifah and Yo Yo, I think, on there.
Yeah. Yo.
And I just think that it was, for me, it was like unexpected for Brandy to have them on the track, because you know, like, she was the good girl, and I don't know, it was a pleasant surprise for her to do a remix and have them on it. And now when I think about the song, I think about that performance that they did. I think it was like a hip hop award show, and that was a moment for me because it was very nostalgic. And it's always nice to see women come together, because a lot of times, you know, in the industry, especially hip hop, they like to pit women against each other. So I like that. And I feel like
I like that. And
right, I didn't know what to say next. But yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's a totally different take on the original, and I like what they did with it.
Yeah, it's definitely like classic and legendary, and I think at the time it was like, because Brandy was so brand new, it's like that stamp of approval from like the seasoned artist. So I think I love that moment. It's not one of my favorite like remixes, but I recognize it for what it is. Yeah.
Very nostalgic, takes me back to that time period. Even just the beat, it feels very like 90-ish, being a young girl, being a teenager, you know, bopping type of thing. Had that tape, I swear up and down, they said TT on there. So I thought they was talking to me. I swear up and down. They did. It's a part. I promise you it's on there. Go listen.
Okay.
But yeah, I had that tape. I played it over and over again. And a lot of people don't, a lot of people just like, for me, I love Queen. I love her as a rapper. I love MC Lyte as well. She's probably one of my top female rappers. But Yo-Yo, for me, I was like a huge fan of Yo-Yo during that time. And so anything she was on, I loved it. I think that song probably started all of my love for her. But I've always respected her as a female artist. And so to have the three of them, like you said, Rashad, being seasoned vets and giving Brandy, one of my favorite artists at the time, that stamp of approval just kind of took her to another level. She got a little bit of hood credit with that one, I guess.
I wouldn't say that, but okay.
She did, because they was like, you know, she hang with the girls, you know. She got a little
street cred, as they would say.
She got a little stamp of approval. You know?
Because when she came out, she was like we talked about that before in other podcasts, like her and Monica, how they were marketed. So she was marketed kind of like girl next door, right. You know, everything. So I think it did give her a little bit of like edge and cred when they did that. So, yeah.
I agree. Yeah. So moving on to my third choice, I'm gonna go with Maya's Best of Me. So the original version featured Jadakiss on the rap portion. So I did not grow to actually like the original version until I became an adult. When I listened to like the lyrics, I really liked the song. Actually, and it's crazy, it's produced by Swiss Beats and Jimmy Cozier. If you remember him, he had like a single in the early 2000s as well.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. This was, I mean, it was a jam for me. And also Mashonda helped write on this song as well, the original version. But the remix, which is featured on DJ Clue's mixtape, he had an album mixtape during that time. And it was along with a tour that was going on as well during that time, the Backstage film. There was a tour, I believe, like the Rough Riders were on that tour, Rockefeller, there was a bunch of people, but he released the album and this was featured on there. And the producers of the remix are the Trackmasters, which we talked about them last week. They were burning up, and it features none other than Jay-Z on the remix. When I think of this song, thought goes to them in that Carolina blue them jerseys. She had the infamous jersey dress on. I think that was like the rise or the beginning of like everybody having those jersey dresses on. This is like young Jay-Z in his prime. I kind of mentioned it last week when I talked about Steve Stout. He starts it off with, you know, I'm focused, man. You know, Steve Stout tells Stout to holler at me, man. You know, he starts off there. And I think at that point, I was like a huge Jay-Z fan by then. So anything he was on, I was like, I'm listening to it. And then with Maya, I loved Maya. I thought she was gorgeous. And I like the song. Like when I listen back now, I was like, that is a true like teen kind of song. Like a teen girl talking about like, I got a boyfriend, but I want to be with this other person I kind of want to see. I was like, this is so teen pop for her. And she sounded great on both versions to me.
Yeah, she sounds really good on there. I do like that song. Not to where I like just go and play it, but like if it's on, I really enjoy it. But like you said, the first thing that comes to mind is the video, like the white backdrop and them in the jerseys, and that's what sticks out.
Yeah, and them on the beach.
Yeah,
it comes to mind for sure. But yeah, that's one of my go-tos as well. So keep it moving.
Okay, well, let's see. My next one is "Come On," Diddy. It's Diddy. Right, I Need a Girl for Two.
Okay, Genuine.
Right. With the braids.
And all that yelling.
Right. The king of yelling. He was the king.
Yeah, it's Diddy featuring Genuine and Loon and Mario Winans. I Need a Girl Part 2. I Need a Girl Part 1 was featuring Usher, and that was a great hit, great slow song. It was a smash, like everybody liked it. And then I Need a Girl Part 2 came out, and I actually enjoyed that one actually a lot better than the first one. Like I rarely listen to the first one now, like it's mainly just that one. And it's produced by Diddy and Mario Winans, and it's a lot of writers on there, so I'm not gonna name all of them, but I love the video. It takes me back to a time when making the video on MTV, because that was one of the ones that like used to come on a lot, was this one. And I don't know, I just like the feel of the song. I love the video. I like everyone's features. And yeah, I just think it's a great groove. I love to see it when it's performed live. I love when they do it live. So yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, I agree. That's on my list. I love that song. And the video, I feel like, isn't it a Miami vibe in the video?
I think it's Miami, yeah.
Yeah, I love the video too, because it makes me want to go on vacation.
Time to move on. Time to be snow.
Don't stop now, straight to the top now.
Yeah, Puff. We all know Puff is like the king of like these remixes, and they will sound like completely different songs. But for me, that reminds me of being in middle school, like my infatuation with anything that Papa Diddy Pop.
Yeah.
At the time, I loved it. But yeah, and what was interesting, because the original with Usher was really good, the first version, and then he comes back around, and then I would have never thought to put Genuine, Mario Winans on that track. I mean, Loon is on the original, but he's also on the remix as well, I believe. Is that correct? Yeah. And so I think he complimented, to me, just the way that he rapped and his cadence.
Yeah, he's real smooth and
yeah, he complimented, but I would have never thought to have added Genuine to that song. I
wouldn't have either. I because Genuine doesn't even have a verse. He just sings the hook. And Mario Winans has a verse.
Does he sing it or does he yell?
That's a good question.
Come on, come on. But I love it. I love everything about it.
Yeah, I love that song. Like, I don't know, it's just a good, again, nostalgic. So
yeah.
Yes. Okay, so my next one is around this same time period. I'll never forget, I was watching 106 in Park. I was a classic NSYNC fan at the time. And
shaking my head.
And I saw them on 106 in Park featuring Nelly with Girlfriend. And I was like,
side note, that's how we knew they had
crossed over.
But that's how we knew they like made it. Like they was on 106. I was like, because I was shocked when I saw them. I was like,
right.
I was a big fan. And like when I saw them on 106, I was like, whoa.
Because you had that one before you had Gone. Because didn't that one like open the door for the
that one opened the door.
Yeah, that was before Gone. So I was like, okay, I see you. And then this is like around the time whenever Justin Timberlake tried the little fro situation, was wearing the cornrows and stuff. And I was just like, okay, that's a bit too much. But I'm here for Nelly on this track. I love it.
I mean, you gotta talk about it being like, we talk about this all the time, and we'll talk about it in our deep dive about Justin, but that being the introductory to his relationship with the Neptunes, them producing that beat, it sounds like a classic Neptunes beat from all the little background parts in there. I just feel like that could have been Justin's song by himself featuring Nelly, if you needed it to be. But the harmonies on there though, did it for me. Like that was what got me.
And JC's like contribution to the song as well, like his verses and everything. So I love that. I love Girlfriend, and then the remix makes it even better, like because Nelly is so melodic with his voice, and he has such a tone to his voice. So like it added like that je ne sais quoi or whatever to it. It added the extra icing on the cake because he was like rapping and singing or whatever, and I don't know. He was a really good addition, to that song.
It was a perfect fit.
He was high during that time too. He
and like their vocals on it, like you said, their harmonies and backgrounds are really great, and then the two lead vocals on it were great. So great song all around.
Cute as Beyonce. That is my vibe. But yeah, I love the remix with it, and honorary mention. Since we're not going to talk about it, Girlfriend B2K. We were joking before we filmed. I don't know what it is about the girlfriends, but the part twos be bopping. Like they be
cool.
Right.
But yeah, that's an honorary mention as well. So moving on to my next one, I'm going back. You guys went to 2000s. I'm going back to 1996, and I'm going with back in.
Let's be going back.
Back to the future.
Right, and arriving.
Right. But yeah, I'm going back to 1996 to 112's Only You. So I like the original with them and Mace on there. The video, of course, featured all of like the Bad Boy artists. This song was actually produced by Stevie J and the Hitmen. And they did the remix, which at that time, Big was like, when he did remixes, like he stamped the song at that point. But I can just remember being a kid and hearing that Jesus, the Notorious. Yes. I mean, you play that now, you gon'
it still goes up. Yeah, like
it still goes up.
Everybody's rapping that verse. Like,
yeah, Big didn't miss when he came to he didn't miss as a lyricist, period. But when he did remixes, you knew he was there. Because even when I think about honorary mention, for me is like Craig Mack's Flavor in Your Ear. I remember his verse distinctly. Like he just didn't miss it. He just enhanced the song. But Only You was already a bop, and then adding Big just put the extra seasoning on there. So yeah.
I can't, like, the Big verse has to play. Like I can't listen to the song without that part. Like I need that part. So like I'm partial to that version and that video because I feel like that's even more iconic with them in the Jeep, with jackets in New York and stuff like that. So
that was the first thing I thought of, them jackets. In Times Square.
Puff bouncing around. I thought I touched it.
Right. So I love that song. Yeah. Great start to 112's career.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And they were actually songwriters on this song as well, which is good for them. Kudos and shout out to them as well. Right. So yeah, that's my fourth one. And we're coming around the mountain.
All right. Let's see. What am I going to name for my last one? I think I know. Let me just
you know?
I know. Just let me get the credit so I can say who produced it and stuff. Okay. I guess that's not duh. All right. So I'm gonna choose we're just talking about the music. I'm gonna choose R. Kelly. Ignition Remix, one of my favorite songs, period. I feel like it's one of everybody's favorite songs, period. Mm-hmm. I mean, I distinctly remember it when that came out. Like, I believe we were in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And and I loved that Chocolate Factory album.
Me
And,
too.
yeah. And then that song though, like everybody loved that song. And for one, oh, let me say it's written and produced by R. Kelly, of course. But the
Produce a function
right.
song.
Right.
But
Broken down by
the original version is awesome. Like I love the original song, and it's a slow jam. Well, yeah, slow jam.
It is.
Slower song and more sensual and everything. But then like the remix just takes it up another notch, and it's just like the perfect party song. Like it was one of those songs that just crossed over to everybody at all ages, all creeds, races, whatever. Like everybody loved it. And like you can play that well. I don't know if you can play it now at the party, but there was a time you could play that like way after it came out, and it's still, like I said, just goes up or whatever. So one of my favorites.
For me, it was really weird, like going on Broadway to bars and stuff, and that goes on, and everybody just gets lit, and I'm just like,
I love it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. For me, the original, I remember because our radio station at the time, we only had one at the time. And they were switching over into playing like a little bit of rap as well during that time. Y'all looking at me like y'all remember when 92Q was the only station we had.
I remember that.
I do, but I feel like by that point we had, I feel like 101.1.
It was 106.7 had come out. Remember we had
The Heat, right? Was it The Heat or something?
Yep, we had 106.7 for like a brief bit, and then 101 came. So this was like the early stages of them, but I remember them like when he dropped the song, they would play the original version first, and then they would play the remix. It was like an all-day thing, and then when you turned on the radio, you didn't know which one you were gonna get, but like they were just playing them back to back. I just remember that it was like a big marketing thing for the song.
And then like even how it goes into it from the original,
right?
Like I love it.
Hold on, let me break it off with the remix.
Hold on, let me break it off with the remix.
I don't think you do this, but
right, I don't mean to do this, but
and just to take that like kind of the same beat, but just kind of like add that bounce and that flavor. I was like, that's genius to do that. That was genius.
And I wonder if they knew what they had when he made that. Like, I wonder if they were like, "Oh, this is gonna be it," or what? Because like it was a really good idea to take that song and remix it like that. But it wasn't like, you know how most remixes come like later after the song don't came out. Like it was already made on the album. Like it was already there. That's why I'm like, interesting.
It would be interesting to get into the mind or the thought process behind that. Was it like I was just in the studio and I just kind of had this beat and I just kind of rolled it and just started, because we hear so many stories about people being in the booth and they just start saying lyrics and it just goes. So it would be interesting to know how that came about. But you're absolutely right. I think he I don't know if he knew what he had, because like Ignition was such a good song. It was such a good song, but then to come back with that remix, like usually one of the other hits, not both.
Because see, that Ignition original could have been a single, and I think it would have been successful.
Right.
Oof. Take me back,
Good times. I know.
And you took my last one. I don't even
sorry.
know. No, you good. You good. I don't know which one I'm gonna talk about now. Let's see here.
Right.
Okay, so since we talking about R. Kelly, I'm gonna just say I'm a flirt. That was what 06, 07-ish.
Yeah,
that was high
and
school.
A lot of people don't realize the original was a Bow Wow track, and then the remix came out and it's like, where's Bow Wow? You got T-Pain, you got T.I., R. Kelly, and it's a banger.
To be honest with you, I don't even remember that version with Bow Wow. Like when I'm a Flirt remix come on, I'm thinking like that's the song. Like,
right, and like even whenever I just like Googled it, and whenever you put it in, it says by R. Kelly featuring T-Pain and T.I. So like that's the song that it took off, and it was lit.
Yeah, because I always one of my favorites too. Yeah, I always thought that the original version was R. Kelly's song, but then he had Bow Wow on there, and then he did the remix. That's what I always thought. But you told me, I didn't know that was like Bow Wow's song. I was like, dang.
That's crazy.
Well, it was on Bow Wow's album. I mean, back then I was stupid and obsessed with him. But
How you just pick that man whole song?
It's just crazy, like, to see that happen. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that happen before or after that, where somebody was on a track with somebody and they just literally took off with it and took it to a whole nother level. But it was a banger, of course, and he had good features on it. You know, everybody that was on it was hot at the time. T.I., T-Pain. And at that time, T-Pain was everywhere.
Yeah.
He didn't miss.
Everywhere.
You talking about you want your remix to go to another level, you add Pain on there, he was gonna bring the pain. Seriously.
Yeah.
And really, he, like, for him, T-Pain, like, he didn't just, like, bring his sauce to the song. He
stepped it up.
He stepped it up. Like, I would not want to go after him if I was on the remix. I'd be like, nah, let me hear what he gonna say first.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he could go either way. He could either rap on you, he could go the rap route, or he could sing on you. You just didn't know which
exactly.
Right.
Really, really good. But yeah, I'm a flirt. Put that on. Nice little party groove. Mm-hmm. It still goes.
It does.
It does. So that brings me to my last one, which is DJ Unk's Two Step. Now, I don't mean to brag on myself, but this used to be the finisher for me at parties.
Right.
This is the finisher.
With the split, right?
Oh, with the split? Oh, okay.
Actually. Anyway.
And not just any split, Keisha. The lift the leg up, spin around, and then drop to the floor.
Like, are you being serious right now?
No. But no, Two Step was my jam.
I'm kidding.
You go to a party one time and cut up, and people just will not let you forget it. They just so anyways, but yeah, this is my jam. So like, this is high school going into college. It was everywhere. Like DJ Get Out, stuff was like every party you went to, they were playing. But then for him to come back around with the remix, and he has T-Pain, Jim Jones, and E40 on there. First of all, we just talked about T-Pain. He didn't miss. It's epic. Him starting off saying, you can actually hear me two-stepping while I'm recording, like starting off. He again. That's one of the songs he was like singing, rapping on. And so he upped the bar. Jim Jones was high during that time, and I was definitely a Jim Jones fan. So we have him on there, and I feel like adding E40, he brought that bass swag on that song, and he did it his own way. But yeah, that's my jam. You put it on at any party, and you might catch me. Right.
That just reminds me of college so much. Like that's not a song of mine like I just listen to, but like if it's on at a party, like it just gets you in that mode or whatever. Like it does remind me of like early college years, like parties or whatever, like played at all the parties, and it's part of that pack of songs like that was like that. I can't I can't name it, but like you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yes.
That's so funny.
They were like party staples, basically.
Yeah, you got sprinkling a little Soulja Boy.
Yeah. Walking out, all that.
Travis Porter.
DJ Unk was on fire during that time. He absolutely was on fire. So yeah, do we have any honorary mentions, or we want to save them?
Actually, I'm going to save mine.
Yeah.
Let's save them, because y'all know I had a whole list of 15. So.
And then we even thought about stuff after the fact. Like there's so many great movies. I think we struggled a little bit because, as we mentioned offline, the later that it got into like past the 90s, a lot of people were using the same beat, so it almost didn't feel like a remix. However, they titled them remixes. So we kind of were struggling there on finding actual remixes. We felt like we're whole different songs. I think our definition of what we feel like a real remix is a little bit different than what they title remixes. So yeah, but that was good, guys. We don't have to make a playlist.
That was fun.
Yeah, we should make a playlist.
Yeah, we should make a playlist
of our best remix. Yeah, I like that. We need to get on that.
I like that idea. You might do that.
Yeah, because y'all mentioned some that I had never heard, so I'll be able to listen to them.
For sure. All right.
Yes. So we're gonna get that playlist together for y'all and leave the link in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Let us know if we missed anything. If you want to tell us your top 5 remixes, holla at us in the comments. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good one.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.